So now going off that, we're past that. We're well past that point.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
been in, oh yeah, for what, over almost a year and probably almost a year and a quarter.
Right.
So you've said, and I'm gonna paraphrase this, so let me know if I'm wrong, but this will eventually become an endemic, where essentially like almost like a seasonal, maybe not seasonal, but it's something we're gonna have to deal with. So
Yes.
what, for those out there that like, what is an endemic, and then what kind of economic consequences you see going forward, maybe in the short term,
Right.
of that?
So in 1918 to 1920, we had this other pandemic, which, ended up being far, far worse, even in a less connected world. And the result of that pandemic was, seasonal flus that come and go, and different strains of it. And we get it all the way up through now. And that's what happens when a respiratory virus extends through the population and can circulate between hemispheres. It's more of a migration that occurs because it never gets stamped out anywhere.
Yeah.
So what that means is it'll crop up again. It won't be as bad because most of us will be mostly immune to it, so it won't spread as much. But every other one of these things has had what's called waning immunity, especially in the older population. And so it tends to come around. And so this is just a thing that isn't going away. Now we'll learn to live with that. The real tragedy at the moment is that there are the countries that have gone for zero COVID, Australia and New Zealand being top of that list. Well, they've got a real problem with an endemic thing in the world. And this actually happened to Australia last time. Last time Australia, in 1918, Australia managed to keep that virus out, but eventually 2 years later had to had people coming and going, and it ripped through their country. Ripped through the country. And it's something I remember from my childhood. Australia and New Zealand lost 900,000 people. There were not that many people there in that. So I fear that's sadly going to happen again, and I don't think they've quite woken up to it. And so this is what we are going to live with now in the world. As I said, I think it'll be background noise for the most part once we're over this, but it might take a few years before we get to that stage.